All right, so now we get to level 3. This is when you're, pretty much a boss at this point, and you're confident about investing, and you understand a lot of technical analysis, and you have the ability to consistently invest in things like the 529, the 401k, your M1 portfolio or stock portfolio is looking pretty good. So now you're thinking about, okay, how do I actually level up? And one of the ways you do that is through rental properties in real estate. Now I'm gonna do an entire different video on real estate and the vision biblically when it comes to investing in real estate and tax liens and flips and all of that. That video's coming. But for the time being, I just want to touch on a couple of topics. So real estate for me is a phenomenal vehicle. Most millionaires have built, millions through real estate. And the reason for that is, like I mentioned, real estate offers 3 things that's amazing. It offers cash flow if you can find a property that actually is going to pay the mortgage and then put money in your pocket. Number 2, there's a depreciation. So you can actually write off a lot of the taxes and the fact that, the sheetrock is worn out, the woods, the foundation, the windows, all of that gets depreciated in the tax code. And number 3, of course, appreciation. So over the course of 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that property is gonna double and triple in value. So when you add those 3 things together, it's very hard to find different vehicles or better vehicles where you can put your money and build this much wealth this efficiently. Now, like I mentioned, most millionaires make their wealth through real estate. Most billionaires make it through different businesses and different streams of income. So with that in mind, when you're at level 3, I think that's what you need to be looking for, is different opportunities where you can either start a business or create different streams of income. And you take that money and now you're investing, and you kind of just repeat that cycle. You find a business, you make it cash flow, you make it profitable, because the business can do the exact same thing as real estate, except real estate, there's a tax code that limits how much it's going to, you're able to write off. There are market limitations on how much it's going to grow. You don't have that when it comes to a business, right? If you do better marketing and you increase the conversion numbers by 10%, while your revenue just went up 10%. If you get a different manufacturer on whatever your business is and it decreased the cost by 30%, well, if you do that, your revenue just went up 30%, so on and so forth. A business is where you have ultimate control to play with different levers. And by the way, I'm not one of those people that says levers. It's definitely levers. Reminds me of a scene from The Big Bang Theory. I'll put it in, you guys check it out. So let me tell you a couple of different ways that I've, divested my investments. The first one, and it's something that I'm doing right now, is a churro business or car rental. I was in Dallas a couple of weeks ago and I rented a pretty exotic car for me and my brother. It was his birthday. So I rented an exotic car and I was talking to the owner about it, and it blew my mind because he's like, look, Jay, I actually rent this car for about 30 to 45 days out of the year, and it pays for itself for the entire year. And that includes insurance, maintenance, the payment, everything. All he had to do was rent it for 45 days. Now, I didn't want to go out and get a loan for a business that I had never tested before. So instead, I bought a normal car and I have been renting it out. So far, I have to say I'm pretty surprised with the numbers. I don't know, it's because it's the end of the year or my prices just seem to be a bit lower because I wanted to attract more people. But the car's been renting out really well. Specifically, over the past 45 days, we've brought in about $600, close to $700 actually. And it's only been rented out about 12 days out of that 45-day cycle. So if I'm renting it out for 50% of the month, I mean, I could easily see this bringing in $1,000 per month. I take the car and I could get 2 of them, I can get 3 of them, I can get all the cars, put them together, get one really expensive car, and you can kind of see where the business can go from there, right? I can easily see myself having a ridiculous car. And again, the business allows me to write off a lot of things. So because I bought it under the business name, I'm running it as a business, I actually write off the car, I write off all the maintenance. Like the 20% that I'm paying churro, that's actually something I can write off as well. So there's like endless possibilities here. As of right now, it's not a good use of my time because my car is so cheap. If I spend an hour or 2 cleaning the car, getting it ready, meeting somebody, giving them the keys, etc., I'm actually making less money there than I am here working in my primary job. So let me give you a couple tips specifically on churro or car rental that I've learned in the very few days that I've been doing this. So number 1, I rented out the car to friends and family like very quickly so that I can get 5-star reviews. And I know this, I've noticed that this has helped me a lot. So very quickly I had 5, 6, 7 5-star reviews, and essentially I just paid for it, right? Because they pay Turo, I just send them a Zelle. But that helped boost my car visibility very quickly. The second thing, when you're looking to purchase a car for this or trade your car, whatever happens to be mindful of the car that you get. If you get a race car, a Dodge Charger, Challenger, a Corvette, whatever it happens to be, keep in mind on the crowd that you're attracting because of that car. So if you get, some sort of muscle car, you're gonna get Don Torettos that are gonna be driving, the thing and doing burnouts, etc. If you get a more luxury, a more calm car, you're probably gonna get people who want a little more high end, some more luxury. They're not 18-year-olds looking to speed like crazy and do donuts. And the last tip is obviously lower the price, offer as many extras as possible so that you can get your listing off the ground, because you're competing with people that have 50, 100, 200 5-star reviews. I'm gonna do a full video on this later and go over all the details and the number and show you guys the data, give you all of my, inside scoop. If that's something you wanna watch, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Another way that I've divested my investments is in angel or seed investing. This one's a little interesting because it's very high risk, high reward. And what it does is, if you've never heard about this, this is where a company is just getting off the ground and you're investing money before they make it to the stock market, before they go public, before they have a lot of money, a lot of revenue, a massive team, good systems, good product. This is just when they're getting off the ground. So high reward, high risk. I actually had my first exit, I wanna say about 6 months ago, where I invested in a company called Exospace, and they were able to get buyout by another company. All of our shares were paid out and we made a profit on it, so it's pretty cool. I've done this a couple of times, and there's a ton of websites that will allow you to do this. A few of them are like Start Engine, Republic Deal Room, Space Ventures if you're into space stuff. There's literally, you can do this with just about anything. If you Google it, you'll find it. Just remember, high risk, so you may lose all of your money. That's almost guaranteed, to be honest. That's the way you need to be looking at it when you're angel investing or seed investing. But let me give you some examples. So one of the first investors in Apple was a guy named Mike Markula, and he was a major investor. He invested $250,000 in 1977. Over time, his investment turned into billions, and he became one of the most valuable and successful investors globally. Same thing happened to Google, right? So Andy Bechtolheim, David Sheridan, I don't know these guys' name, Ram Shimmeran, they each invested about $100,000 in 1998, and that $100,000, again, billions. It's a phenomenal investment, guys. So Peter Thiel in Facebook, and we have him putting in $500,000 in 2004, and the investment turned into billions when the company went out in 2012. You take an investment that's $100,000 and you put that 100,000, guys, and you put that into billions, I mean, the return on that is substantial. So if you were to do this in the stock market, it's not gonna happen, because this is like the equivalent of you investing $1 in a company in the stock market, and then, after a couple of years, it's worth thousands and thousands of dollars. It's just very, very unlikely for something like that to happen. But again, that is one of the probabilities of angel investing, and you just don't get that with the stock market. So I'm gonna talk about crypto, but as a side note, I actually have no crypto holdings, guys. I sold it. I was part of the Doge run back in the day. I sold it at its high. I'm not a greedy person. So I'm not involved with it now because I don't understand it. And I don't invest in things that I don't understand, because that would be foolish. But I will say this, there are crypto ETFs that you can buy. And if it's something that maybe you understand a lot more about, maybe your job, maybe you have friends who do, so you want to get involved, by all means, you just understand what you're getting into. I don't believe that cryptocurrency is the coin of the Antichrist, whatever. I don't believe in that. I have a full video on how I actually bought real estate in crypto, using crypto in a lot of like different crypto lands, etc. I actually did own land in the metaverse. The reason that I don't anymore is because the SEC caught on to Republic Deal's room. Here's a link to the press release, but they essentially canceled the deal. But I was willing to do that because, one, it was kind of partnering several different investments that I like, right? So real estate, metaverse, which I thought was interesting. And because it was gathering sort of like an ETF format with a lot of different investors, it minimized a lot of the risk. So I was willing to do that one. But again, even that got canceled. So if you understand it, by all means. I don't, so I stay out of it. So the last one I'm gonna mention is day trading. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I absolutely hate day trading. I preach against it. 99% plus of people who day trade lose money and they are not profitable. If you don't know what it is, it's just the exact opposite of just buying stocks and holding it. Day trading is the equivalent of you buying and selling fairly quickly in the matter of a day. So the reason I don't really believe in it is because, well, the Bible talks about it in a ton of different places, right? Proverbs 21:5 says, "The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty." So the Bible talks a lot about get rich quick schemes. Stay away from those, avoid those, don't look to get rich quickly. Here is where everything changed. Day trading can be a profitable vehicle if you take all of the human emotion out. And if I knew how to analyze every single chart in market pattern and the volume of the markets and look at candlestick charts and understand what the market was doing, I would do it. But I don't. And the probability that anyone can is very unlikely, especially because there are a lot of massive, billion-dollar funds that are doing this on the spot using AI and different algorithms. And the thing is just crazy. There's a company that I found from a partner that I used to work back in the day, who they actually built an algorithm that you can use. They don't hold your money. They literally just install the algorithm on your computer and you run it. So they installed that on my machine. I've been running it, and I'm gonna publish a video on this in a couple of weeks, if not months. The month of December is pretty strange because all the futures contracts are, there's not a lot of volume. So the algorithm doesn't work well. So we paused trading for December. So it's gonna delay the video. But if you're interested in it, shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll share the details with you ahead of time. I am shooting a video on it and I'll give you the full recap on how it's going. But that one's pretty interesting too. This algorithm is analyzing pretty much every trade, anything that the market is doing in a 5-second interval, going up, going down. It's looking at, millions and millions of data points and then making a decision. It's not just one guy who's emotional, likes a stock, like the way it looks, like the way a trend is going. Like all of that is out of question. You open the computer, you press play, and it's actually crunching numbers, analyzing data, and then making its best educated decision based on that.